Insurance companies are now using artificial intelligence to decide how much your case is worth. And in many situations, that computer is deciding your case is worth less than it actually is. Not because your injuries aren't real, but because an algorithm can't understand your life. I'm Kerry Woods II, a personal injury attorney here in Florida. Every day I work with people who are hurt in accidents and who are trying to get their lives back on track. Something I've been seeing more and more in personal injury claims is insurance companies using AI to evaluate cases and calculate damages. On the surface, it sounds efficient, maybe even fair. But the truth is, AI in personal injury claims can actually lower what injury victims receive because computers simply don't understand the human side of an injury. When most people file an injury claim, they imagine an insurance adjuster sitting down and reviewing their case, looking at the accident report, reading medical records, and trying to understand what happened. But in many cases today, that's not actually where the process begins. Instead, the claim is first run through AI software. It acts like a silent adjuster behind the scenes. These systems can scan medical bills, treatment timelines, accident reports, and even sometimes things like social media. Then the system recommends a settlement value. This is based on data from thousands of past claims. The problem is that those numbers are based on averages, not on your story. So if your injury doesn't look exactly how the algorithm expects, the system can flag it as unusual or automatically assign a lower value. This is even before a real person evaluates your case. And that's where people can start running into trouble. Personal injury cases are not just about numbers, they're about people. For example, think about someone who suffered a soft tissue injury after a car accident, something like whiplash or chronic neck pain. Those injuries don't always show up clearly on imaging, like an X-ray or an MRI, but that doesn't mean the pain isn't real. I've represented people who couldn't sleep comfortably for months, who struggled to sit at a desk all day, or who couldn't pick up their kids without pain. Those injuries have often been undervalued in insurance data. So when an AI system looks at that type of claim, it may rely on those historical patterns, suggesting a much lower value than your settlement deserves. Another issue that comes up is something called a gap in treatment, which I see this all the time. Let's say someone is injured in an accident and they don't immediately see a specialist. Maybe they're waiting for insurance approval. Maybe they're simply hoping that the pain will improve. Or maybe they're just trying to keep working and handling life. To the average person, that makes sense. But to an algorithm reviewing the case, that evidence can sometimes be flagged as the injury is not serious. So suddenly, the system reduces the value of the claim, which is based on something it simply doesn't understand. There's also a bigger issue that lawyers talk about that's called the black box problem. With many AI programs, even the insurance company may not understand how the system reached its decision. The algorithm processes massive amounts of data and produces an answer, but the logic behind that answer isn't always transparent. So if the system undervalues your case, it can be extremely difficult to challenge that decision, unless someone who knows how these claims are being evaluated and how to push back. This is where the human side of law still matters. AI can process claims faster, but faster doesn't always mean fair. A computer can't understand what it's like to live with chronic pain. It can't see how an injury affects your ability to work, care for your family, or enjoy the things you used to love. Those are the parts of a personal injury case that actually matter most. And those are the things a lawyer has to explain, document, and fight for negotiating a settlement. Because your case is not just data in a computer system, it's your life. If you have questions about your situation, or you want to understand your options, reach out to my office. I'm Kerry Woods II, and my team is here to help you understand your rights and fight for the settlement you actually deserve. If you found this video helpful, make sure to follow for more videos explaining how personal injury cases work.